What's up, you all amazing Finnish people and people from all over the world? I hope you're all doing amazing, guys. Well, first of all, I need to say thank you so much for all the Finnish people. Like, you're contacting me through Instagram and we're talking and you're sending me all your love and support. And believe me, guys, I feel so lucky and so blessed to getting to know you guys and talking with you. And yes, you guys, you've been asking me heavily to react to Geography Now, the Finland episode, and I can't wait to educate myself more about Finland, because this country, it just keeps amazing me, as it should, as Finland should. So without further ado, let's start our reaction.
Finland.
Finland. I see no lies.
Let's talk about this place that I totally have no preconceived biases towards.
But he's also dreaming about Finland.
It's time to learn geography
now! Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbie. Welcome to the dark sheep of Northern Europe. All the other Nordic countries are like la 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 la, while Finland is like we'll get into the heavy metal.
Okay, this is so funny.
Thing in a bit, but first, Finland is like we'll get into the heavy metal thing in a bit, but first, now just remember, Finland is Nordic, but don't call it Scandinavian. There's a huge difference. That title only belongs to Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. First of all, Finland is located
in I've learned my lesson well.
Northern Europe, lying on the Gulf of Finland and the Gulf of Bothnia, east of all that Scandinavian stuff. To the west, they border Sweden on the Torne River, or the Tornionjoki, until it reaches the tri-point border.
Tornionjoki.
Border with Norway at the three-country Cairnstone. And to the east, they border big ol' Russia with another tri-point border with Norway that looks like this. The country is divided into 19 regions, or maakunta, with the autonomous region that we'll talk about a little bit later, and the capital of Helsinki, located in the south on the Gulf of Finland, which is also the second most northern capital in the world after Reykjavik, Iceland. The country also owns about 180,000 islands, the highest concentration of which found...
Oh my god, guys. Wow, this is insane.
In the Baltic off the coast in the Åland archipelago. Keep in mind, parts of Finland also lie within the Arctic Circle. That's how far up north they are. And the three busiest airports are Helsinki, Oulu, and Rovaniemi. Now my favorite part, territorial anomalies! First of all, with Russia, there are too many split islands and penne enclaves. The islands of Aikaniemi and Sursaari, Tarasinsaari Island.
Tarasinsaari, oh, I love this language. I love Finnish. I like repeating Finnish words.
And lakes, the island in the Koitajoki River. Seriously, just play around with Google Earth and see how many you can find. Finally, we get to Sweden and things get interesting. Most of the borders with Sweden run along rivers that eventually flow into the Torne River, and then we get a strange golf course that is split between the two countries in the town of Tornio and Sweden. Not only that, but then you have the strange Market Island right next to Åland in the Gulf of Bothnia, which has an inverted S-shaped border. It had to do with the lighthouse that was built belonging to Finland, but then Sweden was like, hey, it's too close to our side of the island. So they drew a border that was like this to give each side equal shares of the land. See this archipelago?
Oh my god, guys, isn't this the cutest thing ever? Like, everything with this country and like overall the European countries, but with especially with Nordic countries and Finland is so picturesque. And one of you guys told me what is my language. My mother tongue is Farsi or Persian, and my father tongue is Turkish, Azerbaijani Turkish.
Archipelago cluster of islands right here, yeah, it belongs to Finland, even though most of the people here speak Swedish. Åland is Finland's strange little administrative anomaly. Long story short, it used to belong to Sweden, but then the Russians took over it in addition to Finland. Then after the Russian Revolution, Finland became free, and then the UN decided Åland should belong to Finland with autonomy. But then the Soviets started attacking again, and then Finland was like, nope, and then fought back relentlessly, defending themselves and Åland, and Sweden just kind of sat there and didn't really do much for Åland as they decided to stay neutral. Finland defending Åland was kind of like the turning point. Now it's kind of like, Åland, come back to me! Look, Sweden, we had some great times, but you kind of really didn't do much for me when things got crazy. I mean, Finland defended me, okay? And he treats me well, okay? His tax incentives are great. It's time to move on. It's not me. It's you. Åland! Also,
oh, what a bittersweet story, but like, I understand Åland.
Finland kind of threatened that if Åland was ceded back to Sweden, they would demand the Tornio Valley. Now, before the whole Soviet thing, Finland operated the regions of Karelia, Sala, Kusamo, Petsamo, and some extra islands in the Gulf. After the wars with the Soviets, these regions were all ceded back to Russia, effectively cutting off their access to the Arctic Ocean. Very quickly, some notable sites and landmarks would have to be the old castles like Savonlinna, Hämeenlinna, Olavinlinna.
Savonlinna, Hämeenlinna, Olavinlinna. I'm loving these names, and look at these castles. Like, I wanna make babies in this castle. I wanna make love. I told this before, but I wanna lose my virginity in these castles.
And the most renowned Suomenlinna. You can probably guess what Lina means by now. Rovaniemi is otherwise known as the home of Santa Claus, where you can go reindeer sledding. Inari and Ivalo is where you can get a real Sami traditional cultural experience. Of course, Helsinki is the epicenter of Finnish architecture and culture, with landmarks such as the Tempeli Aukia Church excavated into a rock.
What? Oh my god, guys, give me some time. Like, I need to digest all these beauties and process all these beauties. I just can't take all of this in. Wow, they're so beautiful, guys. You guys are so lucky.
Architecture and culture, with landmarks such as the Tempeli Aukia Church excavated into a rock.
It just looks like a I don't know, a alien church, may I say. Like the shape of it, like a spaceship.
Street, the busiest road with all the shops and austere post-Soviet influenced blocky colonnaded buildings, or the iconic Helsinki Cathedral. Now those are all great, but Finland isn't really much of a tight metropolitan type of country. They love their space and have quite a bunch of it. See what lies outside these cities, shall we?
As they should.
Now if you want me...
Let's just skip this ad. Guys, I feel like someday I'm gonna marry Finland. I'm gonna marry this country. It's gonna be my husband.
If you want me to make this simple, some would argue that Finland is the best winter wonderland in the world. I mean,
I see no lie.
Canada's cool, but they have too many bears, and Iceland is too explodey, and Russia is too... cold. Seriously though, the land is generally flat except in the north by the border with Norway, in which the highest mountain can be found, Mount Halti, although the peak is in Norway. However, in 2017, Norway plans to give Finland the peak for their 100th anniversary of independence from the Soviets. Finland is just...
Oh, guys, isn't this the cutest relationship between these two countries? Oh, my heart just melts. This is so cute and adorable as well. Like, I ship you guys, like the relationship between Finland and Norway, like I ship you.
It's wonderfully crisp and refreshing, usually ranking in the top 3 countries in the world with the cleanest air quality. This is partially because Finland is almost 80% covered in forest, one of the highest concentrations per square kilometer in the world, only behind countries like Gabon and Suriname. This makes Finland the largest producer of wood in the EU and one of the top in the world. Not only that, but Finland has about 188,000 lakes, most heavily concentrated in lakeland, and in addition to lakes, about 10% of the country is comprised of all water bodies like rivers, ponds, and streams. When mixed with the land, this makes about 1/3 of the country home to swamps and bogs, making it the highest wetland proportion country in Europe and disputably the world. Maybe. But our floods are crazier. Fittingly, the name for swamp in Finnish is suo, and the word for Finland is Suomi. I mean, technically...
Oh my god, guys, this is so interesting. Like, because in Turkish, we say to water, we say su. And this is really interesting. I don't know, like, if I'm making something up or not, but is there a relation between these, like, 2 words? I don't know. Because, like, also in Turkish, we say to father, we say dada, which means something like dad and daddy in English. And, like, I don't know if there's a relation between these 2 words, like,
in Europe and
but this is interesting.
Maybe. But our floods are crazier. Fittingly, the name for swamp in Finnish is suo, and the word for Finland is Suomi. I mean, technically, they also have like 9 other words for swamp, like rame, neva, leto, luhta, lahteko, apa, paisa, janka, and korpi.
Lahteko. Wow. Oh my god, I wouldn't repeat all these words.
swamp like Rame,
Rame, Neva, Leto, Lukta, Lahteiko, Alpa, Palsa, Neva,
and they
Korpi.
love these swamps. One Finnish
I'm
pastime
butchering
is
these
jumping
names.
in the mud, sometimes naked, and either playing soccer or wrestling. The landscape of Finland is shaped that way because
I love
imagine what
everything
happens
that
when
you
you
do naked.
crush something under a heavy glacier for a really long time, and then after the glacier melts, you're left with pockety erosion and mineral residue all over. Not only that,
So guys, is this the reason why Finland is like flat?
but Finland is experiencing a post-glacial rebound in which the land is steadily rising along the coast of the Gulf of Bothnia. Every year, Finland gains about 7 square kilometers and is technically rising out of the sea. The longest river is the
Guys, this is so iconic. Like, your land is getting bigger and bigger while other countries are sinking into the water.
Kemijoki that passes through Lapland and reaches the Gulf of Bothnia. And the largest lake, as well as the 4th largest in Europe, Lake Saima, is located in the southeast. Because Finland is so far north, they are known for being the land of the midnight sun, as during summer you can literally see the sun for 24 hours.
Guys, isn't this miraculous? This is miraculous.
Day in the northern parts by the Arctic Circle. And of course, in the winter times, there's hardly any sunlight at all, but if you're lucky, you can witness an aurora borealis, especially in the northern parts. Oh, and by the way, the national animals are the whooper.
Oh my god, guys. When I die, I want to live my afterlife in Finland, like the land of midnight sun and like northern lights. Just by looking at this picture, like they just hit my G-spot. Yes, they do.
Swan and the brown bear. Especially in the northern parts. Oh, and by the way, the national animals are the whooper swan and the brown bear. Finnish agriculture is, of course, very standard for northern European countries. Lots of rye wheat, turnips, potatoes, and of course, fishing is huge out here. However, due to the abundance of lakes and rivers, Finns prefer their own domestic freshwater fish like perch, zander, and miuku as opposed to the sea fish. Speaking of which, coming to Finland, chances are you will eventually try reindeer meat in some shape or form, whether in stew or grilled. In Lapland, you might even find bear on the menu.
Oh my god, what? Oh my god, guys, they're so cute, like to even eat their meat, but like I understand I want to taste their meat as well. I don't know how it tastes, but like bear meat and reindeer meat, oh, it just feels like this just comes right out of a story or a fictional story for me. Like, this is so cute.
You can try mami, a pudding made of rye, and of course every Finn will make every visitor try the strong, salty salmiakki. They love salmiakki so much that they made it into an ice cream, and it's so good, and I'm so mad they don't sell it in my hometown. Oh yeah, in the wintertime they build ice hotels, and there's like this cool waterfall in the...
I just really want to taste salmiakki so bad. Like, it just looks so cool. It's so dark and like, it's black.
Paratisi Kuru area in the Uru Kekkonen National Park. Okay, let's talk about Finnish people. Okay.
Let's just skip this ad. Come on. Let's go. Let's continue. Come on.
If you go to Finland, you will most likely experience a rather intense yet intriguing social construct. First of all, the country has about 5.5 million people and is the most sparsely populated country in the EU. The country is about 90% ethnically Finnish, about 6% are Swedish, and the rest is made up of everything else under the sun like Russians, Estonians, Asians, and Africans. They use the euro as currency, they use the type CEF outlets, and they drive on the right side of the road. Of course, the Finnish people speak the Finnish language, which is arguably one of the hardest languages on earth to learn.
I need to check this. English, Sweden, Dutch, Spanish. Oh, Turkish is in this as well. German, French, Italian, Polish. Oh, I love Hungarian and Icelandic too. Oh, wow. I love Swedish language as well. Like, every language has its own beauty, guys.
Conjugation is a mess. Nouns and adjectives have inflectionary forms, whatever that means. Nonetheless, is a mess. Nouns. Finnish literacy, they use the type
I did not pay attention to the anime. Okay, so Finnish is like this huge monster. Guys, this is so funny and also so adorable as well. Wow. English is just like a kitten.
Is on earth to learn. Conjugation is a mess. Nouns and adjectives have inflectionary forms, whatever that means. Nonetheless, Finland has one of the best schooling
That Finnish monster can choke me and I would thank like that monster.
Systems in the world. In Finland, school hours are shorter, less homework is given, and there are virtually no mandated standardized tests apart from the exam you take in your final senior year of high school. Also, if you get your PhD, you have the option to get a sword and a top hat along with your diploma. This is also why Finland is one of the most English-friendly countries in Europe. Children are taught around ages 9 to 11, and most people of the younger generation can at least hold an impressively fluid conversation. Finland is actually a conscription country.
Oh, guys, I just feel like I can't appreciate this country like as much as I like to and I wanted to. Like, these facts are amazing.
18 and up are required to serve either in the military or civilian services anywhere from 165 days to a year, depending on the type of service applied for. Åland Islands are exempt from the military conscription, but are required to serve in some kind of institution like the Coast Guard or civil services. Finnish culture is actually pretty funny. The stereotype is that Finns are incredibly quiet and don't talk that much in most public transactions. Just mind your business and no small talk. The cartoon Finnish Nightmares illustrates this concept pretty well. Check it out. Which is funny because Finland is huge on the boisterous, loud and flashy heavy metal culture, having the highest concentration of heavy metal bands out of any other country in the world, with nearly 650 per 1 million residents. Finns also invented the wife carrying competition, in which a man must carry either his wife or girlfriend or any girl.
Do we have a daddy carrying competition as well? I would like to see it one day, Finland. You always do. You're always the first, and you always do it the best. Like, I'm waiting for it.
That agrees to get tossed around in an obstacle course, and the winner gets the women's weight in beer. It's very strategic because if you want to win, you might want to carry a lighter wife, but if you want more beer, you better do your squats, bro. Now, if you must know one thing about Finnish culture, you have to know about sauna.
I know.
The Finns invented the sauna. Most homes, hotels, and apartments have a sauna built into them. They actually had a sauna competition at one point, but then a Russian guy died and they had to kind of cancel it. Overall, though, Finns are kind of brought up in a mindset known as sisu. It's kind of hard to explain the exact definition of it, but it kind of means something like guts or determination and never giving up, which really helped them along the fight with the Soviets. Sisu is to Finland what Jantaloen is to Denmark. There are so many other things I wish we could talk about, but we're running out of time. But we do have time for friend time!
Oh, amazing.
Historically, Finland was kind of always a little lonely. I mean, few, if any, trading routes ever went through this area. Even the Mongols were like, we're good. Nah, yeah, carry on.
Oh my God. I'm glad that they ignored, like, Finland. Like, you can't step on these lands.
Nonetheless, over time, Finland did develop relations, and to this day is one of the most diplomatically outreached countries in the world. I mean, the Finnish passport is the #1 ranked and most sought after, as it has the highest number of visa-free countries applied to it. First of all, Finland generally gets along with other Nordic countries. However, they have the biggest frenemy relationship with Sweden. They'll trade and share a beer or two, but when hockey season comes, the bloodbath begins. When it comes to Russia, Finland kind of has to be their friend because Russia has the longest border with them and business is important. Nonetheless, Russia is kind of seen as like the next door neighbor that you once
guys, I'm sorry.
got into an argument with, but then business is important. Nonetheless, Russia is kind of seen as like the next door neighbor that you once got into an argument with, but then you kind of fixed things up, but then you kind of really didn't get over it, and then you have to see them every other day in the morning as you go to work. Germans are always welcome in Finland, and Hungarians are like the long-lost distant cousins that they just discovered and are trying to build a relationship with. Their best friends, though, might be...
Okay, this is interesting. If they're cousins, why Finnish people are like up in the Europe and why Hungarians are in the middle of the Europe. Like, I want to know the relations. If you know, guys, educate me.
Estonia and Norway. Everybody loves Norway. It's like the Cameroon of Europe. Norway has never had any controversy with Finland, and with the recent mountain gift proposal, relations are only strengthened. Estonia is like the nagging little sister that tries to imitate her bigger brother. I mean, they both even have the same national anthems, but in the end, they are family, and Finland always loves her. In conclusion, Finland really is a winter wonderland with quiet people that transform into metal monsters after a pint of long drink, topping their days off, baking themselves in human ovens for fun. And with that, we finish the Finnish episode. Ah, you waited for that for over 10 minutes. God. Stay tuned.
This is cute.
The country that must not be named, is coming up next.
Oh, guys. This was so fun and so entertaining and so educating as well. Like, I really enjoyed this. Like, I love this country from head to toe, and yes, as I told, someday I might marry like Finland. It's gonna be my future husband, and if I don't, I have to live my afterlife. I don't know, in Finland or in one of these like Nordic European countries, even though I'm so afraid of cold and like I can't stand cold weather, but like everything that I liked, it's there, it's existing in like these Nordic lands and in Finland as well. And wow, amazing guys, thank you so much for watching the video with me. Please comment, subscribe, and like the video. Until the next one, bye, and sending lots of love to Finland and Finnish people. Bye.